Welcome back. We're at the bottom of the hour. Let's welcome former National Security Council Chief of Staff Fred Fleitz back to the program. It's great to have you on, Fred. Fred, here's the question. Should the American people demand to see all of... Thanks for joining us. Should the American people demand to see all of the documents that indicated Hillary Clinton personally signed off on a plan to make up the Russia collusion story in order to damage Trump and distract from her email scandal and stop Trump? This is what DNI Ratcliffe had declassified. What do you think? Should they demand it?
I think they really should. Let's look at what happened here. Ratcliffe said that the Russian intelligence determined in July of 2016 that Clinton had approved this plot to smear Donald Trump for colluding with the Russians. And this happened at the same time Christopher Steele was putting together his fraudulent dossier. Now, this was taken seriously enough that it was briefed to President Obama, and there was an FBI referral. But, Liz, the big question I have is that the Senate Intelligence Committee sources, they revealed last week that they've known about this all along, but dismissed it because they didn't think it was credible. I think this is a pretty significant allegation, and I'd like to know, why did the Senate Intelligence Committee sit on this? Why has this information been hidden from the American people?
Yeah, we're hearing, too, that the CIA officials, FBI officials are sitting on it as well. Why didn't Senate Intelligence put this information in their bipartisan report on Russian meddling? There were, I think, 5 reports on that. It didn't make it in there. Why?
5 reports, thousands of pages long. Now, not all of them were declassified, but quite a lot was declassified. The reason was Senator Burr. Senator Burr was a disaster as chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He let Mark Warner run that committee and use it to attack President Trump. Senator Burr fell into the trap of thinking that everyone in the intelligence community and the Democrats and the foreign policy community, that they're all working together in a bipartisan manner for national security. Now, they usually do. But at this point in history, they're all working together to undermine the president. That's happening in the intelligence community. It certainly was happening in the Intelligence Committee. That's why I'm so glad John Ratcliffe is now DNI, because his predecessor, Dan Coats, fell into this trap too. Ratcliffe is trying to get the truth out to the American people.
Okay, so, you know, Senator Lindsey Graham is expressing frustration about this. Former acting DNI Rick Grenell is telling us he's frustrated about this. Because here's what happened. Let's just break it down. Government documents indicate a Russian agent was working with Christopher Steele, putting disinformation into the anti-Trump Steele dossier that Hillary Clinton's campaign and the DNC helped finance and helped pay for. And then somehow that gets over into the FBI and was used in part to get powerful FISA wiretaps to spy on the Trump campaign as being Russian assets. So you see how circular it is, and Lindsey Graham is saying there's a double standard here. You investigate the Trump campaign, but why are you sitting on what happened in the front end of this, right?
It's just unbelievable, because in early September of 2016, the FBI got this referral of this plot that Clinton was supposedly behind. They also got the Steele dossier, which they used to justify a FISA warrant to spy on the Trump campaign. So as you said, they decided to act on one set of information that was at a minimum dodgy and not another set. I think there certainly was a double standard here.
All right, let's listen to James Comey on what you just talked about, testifying about this issue. Let's listen to James Comey here. Watch.
You don't remember getting a investigatory lead from the intelligence community? 2016, the U.S. intelligence officials forwarded an investigative referral of FBI to FBI Director James Comey and Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Peter Strzok regarding U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's approval of a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public. That doesn't ring bells with me. Okay. Well, that's a pretty stunning thing. It didn't ring a bell. You get this inquiry from the Intelligence Committee to look at the Clinton campaign, basically trying to create a distraction, accusing Trump of being a Russian agent or a Russian stooge.
Okay, do you remember James Comey's press conference before the election about Hillary Clinton's emails? Do you remember how detailed his memory was about the number of emails that were listed as classified and the number of emails that weren't? Do you remember how detailed his memory was then? Do you remember how detailed James Comey's memory is about Trump's alleged connections to individuals in Russia and how he's supposedly indebted to these individuals in Russia, which is supposition on his part? He gives detailed information about that, but then has no memory of anything about this. Your take on it?
I've researched this, Liz, and Comey has repeatedly in congressional testimony had convenient memory lapses when it came to anything that would incriminate him or anything that would make Trump look bad. But when it came to information that hurts Trump, he would remember with perfect clarity. And look, this guy, and that says to me, this guy is a partisan hack. He had no business running the FBI, and I'm happy that President Trump fired him.
All right, Fred Fleitz, thanks for joining us again. Come back soon, okay?